I'm Brian, and that's Jeremy, and every week on PSVR
This Week,
we take a look at the new VR games that are coming to the PlayStation Store this week.
we gather up all the videos we could find, all the descriptions we can plagiarize, and we condense them down into the short video for you.
Sometimes we look at delayed games, updates, DLC, or new game announcements.
So without further ado, here's PSVR This Week.
Let's create Pottery VR is the best way to relieve your everyday stress and find your inner peace. It's an impressive, therapeutic, and uplifting experience that you can enjoy from the comfort of your home. Go through all the stages of creating ceramics, choose the color of the clay, shape it on the potter's wheel with your own hands, add the necessary elements, burn and decorate like a real artisan, choose a variety of colors, and give them a unique style and character. You can refer to classic art patterns or create individual projects yourself. When Korn dropped a couple weeks back, there were only a few complaints. The main one being that the typical Skyrim-style controls that we've come to expect on PSVR, which, side note, had already been patched into the PC VR version, were nowhere to be found. Luckily, developer Free Lives was listening, and despite working from home, they were able to drastically improve Korn with patch 1.03. Not only do we get a handful of new movement options that all feel great, but the patch unexpectedly also tweaked the difficulty of the final boss, and even better, came with the ability to remove the blue warning box that appeared whenever you get too close to the camera's limits, which means now, Korn is better than ever. Swords of Gargantua is a fast-paced roguelite action game featuring online co-op for up to 4 players. We've been hyped for this game's PSVR release for a while now, especially as we kept hearing that it was coming very soon. Well, Swords of Gargantua is still coming soon, just not as very soon as before, as it's been pushed back a bit to summer 2020. As you know, summer starts at the end of this month, so the delay could be just a few weeks, or at worst, a few months. Immerse yourself in a distressing psychological thriller in which you have to solve a series of murders that occurred around the end of 2019 in an abandoned town in Spain in Desolation. The Desolation Kickstarter launched on June 3rd and exceeded its $11,000 fundraising goal in less than 24 hours. With almost 20 days left to go, there's still plenty of time to support this one, with a few of the higher tiers offering a limited physical collector's edition of the game. Not to take away from the excitement, but to keep things on the up and up, I reached out to the developers to clarify exactly what we should expect from the final game, and they did confirm that Desolation's world consists mainly of 3D elements that are placed against 360 photos and videos. So keep your expectations in check, and we could have a fun horror game on our hands fairly soon. Recently, this trailer surfaced of upcoming kart racer Galaxy Kart, a VR game developed by Apocalypse Rider and Viking Days studio VR Monkey. And while those two games might not be the most impressive VR games we've come across, VR Monkey definitely looks like they're stepping up their game with Galaxy Kart. We'll know more when this game is officially unveiled at the Brazilian Games Showcase, which takes place from June 22nd to the 26th. Dash World might want to put the pedal to the metal.
This station was your laboratory, and the experiment was a failure.
We've had a lot of people asking us about the Prey VR release date, so maybe it's time to take a second and discuss what Prey VR might or might not be, and see where these rumors originally came from. The story begins with a UK retailer listing Prey VR as a new PlayStation VR title, a listing which of course got pulled soon after. So was this a mistake, a leak, or just a misunderstanding? The misunderstanding seems most reasonable, as Prey did get a small amount of PSVR content a while back, so it would be understandable if your first thoughts were that this is a simple repackaging with all the VR DLC included on the disc. But don't forget that this is coming from Arcane Studios, who co-developed Wolfenstein Cyberpilot with Machine Games last year, and published by Bethesda, who has a pretty good track record when it comes to supporting the platform. So what's the truth? No one knows quite yet, but I think we can all agree that if 2017's Prey comes to PSVR in its entirety, we'd be looking at another must-have title. There's not much to say about Ben VR Adventure, except that this new clip shows that developer Monologic Games are absolutely killing it with their Crash Bandicoot-style platformer. We're looking forward to seeing what tricks Ben has up his sleeve when it launches on PlayStation VR later this year. Blunt Force, developed by Summer Funland developer Monad Rock, is one of those games we just assumed got announced, then quietly cancelled when no one was looking. But according to the developers themselves, Blunt Force is still on track with a few delays due to the COVID-19 outbreak. So there's no release date, but it should also be mentioned that focus right now is on PC VR, but that when the PlayStation VR version hits a bit later, it'll come packed with all the planned DLC on day one.
War. War never changes, but it changes everything in a person's life.
The Clive signal can't hide you anymore. It's time to face your ultimate challenge and be destroyed.
It's time to become a dance master and take on Uriel, battle 9 of the best dancers from around the globe and compete on global leaderboards. Featuring 45 songs by F777 and a VR dance editor, Dance Collider might be the ultimate dance and rhythm game.
Time to break you.
Let's burn.
Come on, feel the beat. Let's rock.
Diplomat in unit.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of PSVR
This week. We'll be back next week to keep you up to date on all the VR games coming to the PlayStation Store.
But keep in mind that no one outside of Sony really knows what games are coming when.
But we'll do our best to keep you up to date each and every week on PSVR This Week.